Way up behind me on that mountainside is the government of Ushuaia's dirty little secret. It's a neighborhood known as El Escondido, which translates to the hidden. Now, it's known as such because the government of Ushuaia is providing no help to these families that are living there. They are amongst the thousands of houses without any utilities from the government, which means no running water and no electricity. Let's go check out some of their dire living conditions.
El Escondido, estuve el domingo a la mañana en el Escondido. Y es muy loco porque toda la gente de la ciudad que hace más tiempo que está y que vive como civilizadamente, se queja porque los del barrio Escondido no tienen cloacas y tiran su mierda hacia la ciudad. La ciudad hace lo mismo, solo que tira la mierda a la bahía. La diferencia es que los peces no se pueden quejar, que la centolla no se puede quejar, que los mejillones no se pueden quejar, pero estamos haciendo lo mismo.
So, they have a name for these people who live without the electricity and the water. And I don't know the Spanish word for it, but basically translates to the hidden. How do you feel about that?
It makes me so sad because I can relate to that in a lot of ways in Canada. And working with First Nations people, seeing the reserve system and seeing, and knowing that that's what the government tries to do. They hide our secrets. They hide, I can totally, that hurts my heart, actually. That makes me feel really sad.
Thanks.
I believe that makes you feel really sad.
Oh. That's terrible.
What do you think about the name El Escondido?
¿Qué pensás del nombre, El Escondido?
Esta parte de acá se llama el mirador de Ushuaia. El Escondido es abajo.
Ah.
Según la gente no le gustaba el nombre Escondido.
All the people living in these fairly affluent neighborhoods or whatever, I have a feeling that, the supposed slums up there or whatever, those people, they're just, all their waste sewage is just running down the hill, and all their garbage is all over the place, and all their waste sewage is going straight into the bay. It happens to be in a tube.
And we were in a cab the other day and taking a cab from here, and we were telling him what we're doing, and he kind of got a little bit angry, and he goes, it's great what you're doing here, I like the idea, but what you're doing isn't for Ushuaia. It's not for these people, because we learned that there's 8,000 families that are in the mountains, living in the valley with no water, no hydro, and they're living really in these structures that just they're not up to code.
Todos somos espejos del otro, y si nos molesta lo que hace el otro es porque en algún lugar debemos estar haciendo algo que tiene que ver con eso. Creo que hay mucho conflicto en la ciudad con los del Escondido, y en definitiva son personas y quieren vivir mejor también. Nadie quiere vivir entre la mugre.
Or not as effective. So there's a lot of people living in a very cold area, burning wood because they don't have access to not even natural gas like the rest of the city. They are living, in a very tight situation, very crowded situation with very, very little in a very extreme weather. Mm-hmm. Living in a tight situation and overcrowded for Latin America is no news, but in this weather, it's pretty extreme.
Mm-hmm. Very extreme.
I think this should be more connected. People who really need it, and the municipality should show them what's really going on.
They're doing the same. Honestly, they're doing the same thing, but worse, because they're also they have money. They're like consuming. These folks up here on the hill, they're living probably, honestly, a more sustainable lifestyle than this.
So as you can see, we're in El Escondido, and I can hear construction going on in the background. And I'm told, well, basically, This whole area is a national park. It's a national forest, so they're not allowed to be here, as you've kind of heard before. And man, the place is built with all kinds of rackety construction, all kinds of issues, as you can clearly kind of see behind me. I mean, anything and everything is a construction material. It's completely unfinished, no finished wood, no finished anything. And for a slum, though, I gotta say one thing. They do have one of the most magnificent views out there. I mean, they've got one of the nicest places in the city, but I guess this is why it was a national park. I was told that they don't have electricity, but I do see wires here and light bulbs. And what I'm told is that they're illegally getting some of this electricity. They're stealing it from lower down in the city and then bringing it up. And some people have it, some people don't. They don't have running water, so they do have to get their water from elsewhere, and they have to get stuff shipped up inside. And they're also tearing down the trees.
More people are coming every day, every month. People are pouring into the city. The city doesn't have the time to follow. It doesn't grow as fast as this. You cannot just build thing, and so it takes time. And the only chance these people have is find a place where there's nothing, build a house there, and stay there until something new comes up.
It would be more like a social idea of what's going on here. Like they could understand that this is not only for the rich people, because most people that live in slums and they see a lot of foreigners working and creating a beautiful airship in the middle of this town, they're like, oh, look at them, they're just constructing another tourist area. So I think the government should use a little bit more effort and bring them here.
I'm more intrigued about the possible uses for social, improvement, to impact a community that has less.
These are the best places to find ways or to integrate these kind of solutions. There was the UN which did a report saying that slums were the most kind of eco-friendly places on earth because they use they recycle pretty much everything they have.
I think those are the areas with the most potential, because I'm super into building in slums. That's what I want to do. And that's where most of the growth in urban areas is going to happen for the next 50 years. Mm-hmm. And so those areas are the places that we have to teach people how to actually build.
The most negative things in life can also be the most inspiring. So I think, there's a lot to be done.
That's a lot closer to this than all this other stuff below is. And that's why we want to get involved with those people, because see, we can make their lives easier for them and better, and give them more time to do things that they enjoy, or to further education of themselves or their kids or whatever, by getting them into something like this and breaking, the cycle that they're in right now.
Si vos le das a alguien, mira, te ofrezco este basural o este jardín para que vivas, te aseguro que va a elegir el jardín.
Y no sé, la solución sería que si hay, que nos den viviendo en otro lado y nos vamos. O sea, por mí, si yo tuviera un lugar donde vivir allá abajo, me voy. Pero si no, no aguanto.
And he said that the city doesn't let them build anything there. They won't let them take building materials up there, and they won't let them bring the pipes, like the water pipes and the electricity up there, because it's too expensive. So what he said in the end, and he got out of his car and he was like, look at this water I have to bring up to my house every day, and I have no electricity, and there's 8,000 families. That's like, 24,000 people in a city. That's like 1/3 of the population that live in this, really poor living conditions. And so he was like, it was good for what you're doing here, but this, the government's not going to do anything about it. And that's what he was, that's what kind of got me. As soon as he said that, I was like, you're right, it's like this in a lot of other places. This isn't, something that's unique to Ushuaia. We do all these things, and yes, tourists are going to see this, and yes, it makes the government look good, but what's the action going to be after we leave? And who, is someone going to step up and use these skills and these teachings of living off the land and helping the people up there get better living conditions together.
Which way? Oh, that way.
Yeah, I'll try this way. Pump the gas, no?
I'm going to kill this guy.
It could be, yeah, the choke.
Va a salir volando el motor.